NT Media Productions presents I'm Making It Happen. I'm Making It Happen is brought to you in part by Cost You Less, your best value on St. Croix. Like us on Facebook. Text Cost You Less, one word, to the number 55678 for discounts and promotions. And the Women's Coalition of St. Croix. October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Call the Women's Coalition of St. Croix at 340-773-9272 for more information. Wait. That's the first time I heard that. They don't have to love me. They had to be proud of me and respect. Yes. So how did that even come? What made you think that? I've never thought about that one. Don't love me, just respect me, Mom.
Yes, because love, sometimes you love someone, but you don't respect that person. And we think, well, if this person loved me, will respect me. I think it's different. I think they love you, but they love you so much they think they can treat you any way they want. Or they have the right to. Maybe your parents think they have the right to because they brought you into this world and they can take you out. So I was like, so everything they said that was negative, I used to say, you're never going to see me doing that. So if they said, oh, you're lazy, okay, then I start doing things. I got up early and I helped with the house. I did that and I was like, they were like, what's wrong with her? She's doing things. You are, whatever they said, like, for example, you need more practice singing, you don't sing that well. Then I would sing more and I will try my best until I got hired as a singer. I was traveling. I was making more money than my dad was making in a month. I was making more than that just singing one night.
At what age?
I was 17. When I got to that point with my singing, I was 17. And then they were like, how much do you make? What? And everything they said that was negative, I used that to change it around. And they changed. Every time they wanted to make a decision regarding our house, they asked me, what do you think about us doing this? What do you think about... And they didn't do that with my older brothers or sister, you know. And I at that moment I was like, okay, things are changing. But it wasn't until I think I was 20 when my mom said to me, you know, I never say this to you, but we are very proud of you. You just did totally the opposite that we thought you would do. Because I think when you have a girl that have a lot of charisma, and it's like a free spirit, some very controlling parents think the worst. Instead of, oh, maybe, you know, she's going to be into something more like dancing, you know, maybe let's get her into a dance class or this or that.
Or they think that going into the arts, you're not going to make any money. Yeah, I had that. Go be an engineer or a computer science person. Yeah. So.
Yeah, for example, with singing, my dad used to say, but why do you want to be a singer? Because here they pay singers with rum. And I'm like, yeah, well, I don't like to drink anyway. So that also helped. It was like, oh, is that how it is? Well, I'm never going to drink. And to the point right now, my friends are like, what do you mean you don't drink? And I don't drink. Because I associated that with being a way of taking advantage of people who sing. So I use it on my favor by not doing that. I always get paid. I always can make good business, and so they help me. Sometimes you have people in your life that are in certain way to trigger that on you. Well, if you take the time to you have to take the time to analyze a little bit, because I had everything with my parents, everything. The only thing I didn't have was, you're good for this. I think you'll be great for that. How about we get you into piano lessons? How about we get you into modeling? How about we get you... No, because their parents didn't have that either. They didn't do that with them. How can they do it for us? Now, I'm in the point where I can do it with my daughter. See, because now I went to the other level of, okay, when you have a child that shows this kind of talent, move that way, move that kid to that way. Don't think the worst or not. But that was my first goal, and I achieved it. When my mom told me that, and I said, "So since when you guys feel that proud?" So well, we start respecting you uh, um, when you were doing so well in the beginning with your music, with singing and traveling and being more responsible. And at home, you show us that you were not that crazy teenager. We thought you would become like a crazy teenager, but you didn't. And then now you are in the point where you're going to other cities, doing different things. You always come home. You always think about us. You didn't forget us. So it was like, okay, that I think that was my happiest because I fear my parents, not my dad. I fear my mom. My biggest fear was my mom, and fears fears come, I think, from different people, from different directions, maybe by childhood or something. But when you have a fear that stop you from doing what you want, I think there had to be a point where you say, well, is this fear going to kill me? Why is it a fear? What do I fear? And when I realized that I fear my mom, and I fear that what she thought that will happen to me will come real, I realized that the only one that could change that was me, not her. Even if she wanted to lock me into the house, no, it was me. So for everyone who's listening, take that, whoever is in your life that is your biggest challenge and that you even fear, and turn it around, make it your biggest teacher, per se.
Turn the negative into a positive and use criticism as to catapult you. But instead, prove them wrong. Especially your children, sometimes you may feel like powerless because of words that adults might say. But I never let adults, when growing up, ever affect what I really wanted to do. And even as an adult, you can have your own peers or adults affect your mental state. But that's what we said. You got to know yourself and write down your goals so that you're able to push through that. Has there been a point in your life where you felt like, wow, Adriana, I'm on my way. I'm making it happen?
It has happened in different situations because in life we not only have one goal, we have several goals. And with my parents was my first fear that I faced. So it was like, okay, if that's what I have to do, then that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to face those that I fear or my fears. So with singing was the same thing. I may have the talent, but it wasn't until I start singing in front of people and getting over the nervousness and all that, and just doing it naturally, that I was like, yeah, I finally overcome that fear, and now I'm picking the rewards. The same happened with the TV show, for example. It's a bilingual TV show, so much talent here. I mean, why would they have to pick me? Because like you said before, criticism can kill somebody's dreams. And I have been criticized because, oh, well, she didn't pronounce that word well. And, well, before we start recording the show and we are practicing reading the prompter, and I'm like, how do you pronounce that? And they tell me several times, and I repeat. But I start laughing, and they all laugh, and they like it. I say, just say it any way you want. And I think that's what have helped me be more successful. Because we have to also understand, when something we're doing ends, it's not the end. Maybe someone else needs the same opportunity. Someone else have the same dream, and needs the same opportunity. Maybe I have my opportunity. I already shine on that. Why not let somebody else have that happiness of being also successful in at some dream, or achieve something they've been dreaming of? I don't have to hold into something forever. I just had to find something else.
Well, and that's really major, because then maybe there's another opportunity, something that's helping you to get to the next level instead of staying. Sometimes you want to stay where you are, but then you hinder yourself from experiencing something even better.
You have to let people have their own opinion. Everybody's going to have an opinion about you. Uh, you don't have to listen to it. Some people just want to say to you, "Oh, this person said that and that and that." Like, okay, well, you know, they're entitled to their own opinion. Do they know me? Do that person really know me, or is judging me for what it sees? Maybe you have to know that some people just hurt, and just send the blessing, let it be, and keep on doing what you're doing. As long as what you're doing is not hurting other people, you're in the right path. That's the point. Help as many as you can. Do what you love. Make sure it's in the way that don't hurt anybody, that makes you happy, that is fun for you, that help you take care of yourself and your family, to provide, no matter what the situation is. And hey, good for you. Keep going, you know?
And that's what I say. Their opinion, anybody's opinion of you is none of your business. The only opinion is your business is yours.
Yeah.
That you of yourself. When you look in the mirror, if you're happy to see who you're looking at, if you're proud of what you're doing when you look back in the mirror, then that's the only person that you need to really focus on. And I know, of course, God, but but in regards to men, make sure that you're happy with yourself first of all. The dancing, you're gonna keep dancing. You're gonna be doing art in school. You're doing the singing with your group, and you have two beautiful kids, and everything else that you're handling. How do you keep all of that so organized and able to effectively handle all of that?
Well, sometimes get a little stressful running from one place to the next. I had to say that. And being able to eat in between. But it's fun. And I do find my ways to make it all happen and be, there and be responsible. And make sure that my kids are happy and not feeling like they are left behind. Because they are my priority, I have to say that. Always had been since they came along. And but I find time. I always have time. We have time for everything. We have even time to lose. I lose a lot of time. I can do so much more, but I also need my rest. We all need that. To recharge. And then of course I always have other dreams and plans. The other things that I would like to do.
Tell me about that. What else do you have on your agenda to achieve?
Well, I've been working in a project. I'm writing a book. There is a time where you cannot talk to your kids. I think it's like normal. They ignore you, like, yeah, whatever, mom. And I was like, okay, how can she handle these situations? So I started writing a book based on that. And like, how can she overcome certain challenges? And when she don't even want to take my advice.
And how old is she?
She's 12 right now. She'll be 13 very soon. And that's starting very well. And yeah, I'll let you know when it's ready.
I know we talked about a lot, but just tell me, I know you've experienced a lot of things that's tough. Can you tell me one tough thing you experienced? People look at some individuals and say, oh, they have it good. It's easy for them. She's smiling, nothing. She's lucky. But, they don't know the back, what you deal with on a regular, or what you had to deal with to get to the point where you are. So can you give us an example?
Well, I have gone through a lot of stuff that you have no idea. Especially when I was living in my country. One of the toughest things I went through, I was kidnapped when I was in Venezuela for a week. Okay? That was in 1996. And there was no way to communicate with my family. It was hard, and it was like, I don't know what to do. You can't, and all. I don't know how, but it's something like a survival mode. You are, and I don't know if everybody has it. I think so. I would love to think that everybody does. And you have that inside to say, okay, I'm in this situation right now. I need to survive this situation. How do I survive this situation? Is it crying, screaming, yelling, insulting the person that you kind of hate or is hurting you or something like that? It's not. because when you get into that emotional state that you can control yourself, you cannot think clearly, and for that matter, you cannot find a way out, even if it's in front of you. So there is a moment where you have to accept it. Okay, I'm in this situation. This is my reality right now. Calm down. You have to calm down. And I don't know, I learned this on my own. Nobody teach me how. I calm down, I look around. When there is a door, I'm left by myself for some time to time. And things like that. And that's how I start planning, how can I get out of this? Or if one of the persons show up and it was very aggressive, I was not acting as a victim, but more as if I had some kind of power too, because obviously they wanted money for my rescue. So if they want money for my rescue, I am valuable, and that somehow I got that power. Like, if you can't do anything to me, you're gonna lose this money, and actually I can help you get more money if you want. And I was like, okay, how is that? Okay, don't touch her, leave her alone. And after a week, I was finally released. But I had to tell you, I wasn't happy that week, but I was also not desperately crying or thinking, this is it, I'm going to die. No, I had faith. I knew God will not let me die right there. I know God will help me. It wasn't not only giving me the strength, but also give me the way to find my way out. And I was 22 when that happened to me, and I was released. I was released with nothing, of course, and I had to tell. I'm going to tell you the end of this. They dropped me off in a corner in a coast like this, where no people, nobody around, no nothing, and there were a lot of people that needed to cross, and they also didn't have any money, and they all show up in that area too. And some guy in a fishing boat show up. We all got in. I said, I don't have any money. They said, well, we're not going to let you here, so let's go. So they crossed all the people to the other side. And when I got there, I recognized the place because my dad used to work on that area. And I know it was way far from the city, from Cumaná. So I said, well, where is the stop where I can take a car to go to Cumaná? I said, well, by this time, you may not find anyone, but you have to walk like 20 minutes. So I walked. I got there. There was one car. And I talked to the guy and said, look, I didn't tell him what happened to me. I just said, I don't have money, but I need to get there, and I don't know anybody here. So the taxi driver said, if I only have 4 people and 1 empty seat, I'll give it to you. But you have to pay me somehow. So I said, well, I know how to sing. And he said, well, okay, then you're going to be singing all the way to Cumaná. And I did that. He gave me the seat, and I was singing, okay, what song do you want? What song do you want? And they keep telling me until I got to Cumaná.
How long was that drive? Was it 20 minutes?
No, the 20 minutes was walking into that stop, And then from there, over there was like an hour, 20 minutes.
Hour and 20-minute drive. And what time of night or day was that?
It was like 9 p.m. already. So when I got to Cumaná, and I had to also walk into the home I was staying at, I think that was I was happy on my way there, like I had all this adrenaline, like I didn't feel free yet. I'm still in trouble, but I was like still so much excitement and so much going on because I was almost there. And when I finally get there, everybody was like what? Like a ghost just show up, because they were looking for me all over the place. Even though they lose money. That the same people that got me robbed the place, everybody, like 3 houses around, and they were like, they couldn't believe I was alive because they didn't thought I was alive. So I was such a happy moment, and at the same time I couldn't stop shaking, but that didn't make me sad the next day. The next day I was more grateful. I'm alive, and for my parents was like, how you made it? How you made it? You made it because you had to control yourself and realize you are the owner of your own happiness. You own your happiness. You own your present and your future. If you are in a situation where you are in danger, stop and think. Why am I in this situation? If you're not kidnapped, like I was, you have more chances to run away. You have more chances to find happiness. You have no excuse, no excuse. Nobody can have more power than you. You're valuable. So if you're in a situation where somebody's hurting you, be it anyone, stop and think, is this good for me? Do I deserve this? Was I born to go through this? No, I wasn't. I was born because I deserve something better. But who's going to give it to me? Me. If God has allowed me to be alive all this time, it's because I have something, but I just have to discover it and bring it out, bring it about. You know, show other people. You don't have to show anybody. Show yourself. What are you made of? Why did you came here? A lot of people ask that. Why am I here? You're here because you are good, but you have to realize that you're valued. You're valuable. Find it. Rich people are not the most valuable people just because they're rich. Rich don't make them valuable. They at some point they realize I deserve better, so I'm going to work or do whatever it takes to get what I want. It's the same way in your own life. You are not poor. You're rich. When you have hands, when you can walk, when you can talk, you're rich. If you can eat, you're rich. I mean, other people with worse problems, and they're fighting for survival. If you don't have to fight for survival that way, what's your excuse? There's no excuse. You know, live any way you want. You like a humble life, you know, a simple life, that's beautiful. Happy. They do it happily. Don't do it because, you know, somebody's keeping you there and hurting you and telling you things that you're not, you know, just because you want some petting. Just pet yourself. You know, pet yourself. Like I did before when I did this, I'm so proud of myself. Do that. That's not being arrogant. That's acknowledging that you have done something good, even if somebody else doesn't, but you realize it. You do it for your kids when you feed them. You do it for your sister when you help her, for your mom when you call her and she's happy that you call, for your employer when you do something that your employer wasn't even expecting you to do, but you do it. That employer is looking at that, saying, hey, this one is different, and it's going to keep you in mind. So there's different ways to come out of darkness and back to light, and you have to find it right there.
Wow. I was not expecting that to be your tough situation, to get that response as a tough situation. That's I don't even know what to say. I mean, I'm so glad that you're here to tell the story, and that's just profound, and that you were able to think at that time how to get yourself through that. And you're right, you know, if you're not fighting for your life, then what excuse do you have for not achieving what you want and moving yourself out of a negative situation into a positive situation? And I think that's just amazing what you did. And I just have so many questions. I know people are going to be like, well, how did they kidnap you? And, you know, and they got the money. And
well, how they kidnapped me, that was easy. That was the easiest thing, and weird too, because I was in the music business. I met this producer. They came, and I met him through another person, and he had these concerts going on in different cities, and he wanted me to perform. So I said, okay, yeah, I would love to. So we went to a place, and I performed there. And he said, well, this is pretty much what we're going to be doing everywhere we go. But then I said, okay, we're going to go, but I need you have to meet my family and my fiance. I was engaged back at the time. And before I can go into the streets, they need to know exactly where am I going and all that stuff. I said, okay, that's fine. So this person came to my house. Everybody knew him. I was staying at my best friend's house. I was like her, I was living at her house back then. And her brother knew the guy and his background, but he never said anything until it happened. Oh, I thought she knew. And it wasn't the first time this man had kidnapped Yeah, it always had to do with people in the business of entertainment. Yes. So we were supposed to go to Maturin, which is by land, but then when we left, he said, no, we're going to Margarita Island first. And Margarita, when you go to the island, you don't need an ID. It's like coming here. You don't need an ID. There's no record that you got into that boat and you came over here. So that's how my family and my fiance cannot find me. The police can find me because every victim he had, he used to take him to Margarita. Yes. And he have his own place there, and the people he worked with was between the two, between Cumana and Margarita. Yeah, and after I got free, he kidnapped, I was in Puerto Rico already, a 13-year-old ballet dancer. But he made the mistake of kidnapping the daughter of a lawyer who knew some, yeah. So they called me, I was in Puerto Rico, and he was at my parents' house, and he was desperate. What do? I want to kill this man. I said, well, I know where you can find him. You can find him in Margarita. You have to get as many people as you want and clean the island. So he did, and they found him, and he got arrested. Thank God, yes.
The daughter was found?
Yeah, she was found. She was fine. I cannot say how fine she was because I know that they found her. And he got arrested. I know he got released, and then he got killed. So I don't know, but he...
Wow, that is... Well, I'm so happy that...
Yeah.
Oh, God, give me a hug. Oh, my God.
So when I'm laughing and smiling, I had reasons to. I am very grateful because God had never abandoned me.
Wow, I wasn't... Definitely, I'm making it happen. You never know what you're going to find, what you're going to learn about people's stories and the people that you have around you. Don't take it for granted. Don't take your life for granted. Don't take your ideas for granted. And don't take yourself for granted, right? That's what I learned in this conversation with you. And that we don't have any excuses. If you're not fighting for your life, definitely make things happen. Whatever your pursuits are, you can make it happen. And we want to thank you, Adriana, for being on I'm Making It Happen. We wish you all the success in your book and all your other endeavors. And so thank you for watching I'm Making It Happen. As always, we appreciate you for watching. If you see anything on here that you feel is going to be of help for somebody else to make it happen or start making it happen, do share. It is the sociable thing to do. And you can find us on Facebook at I'm Making It Happen, or on our YouTube channel at I'm Making It Happen, and our website I'mMakingItHappen.com. So definitely stay tuned for other shows, and we'll see you next time. This was an NT Media production. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, and share. It's a sociable thing to do.